There shall be showers of blessings. This is the promise. There shall be seasons refreshing, sent from the Savior above. Showers of blessings, showers of blessings we need. Mercy drops round us are falling, but for the showers we plead. Mercy drops round us are falling, but for the showers we plead.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your prayer song. Good evening to all. As you know that Central Sahodaya Conclave Kottayam and the Council of CBSE Schools of Kerala, CSCK, proudly organizing webinar series phase 2 for the teachers of secondary and senior secondary and all the CBSE classes. Today, we are conducting decoding class 10 English sample question paper session. Today's resource person, Srimati Mridula MR, Vice Principal, Chinmaya Vidyalaya Kannur. On behalf of all of you assembled over here, let me welcome today's resource person, Mridula ma'am, to the sessions. Ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
As you know that Central Sahodaya Conclave Kottayam and CCSK conducting online webinar with the support of Insight E, our technical partner. Insight E is a service provider for the schools for the holistic progress card, teacher assessment, and ERP software and different solutions for the schools. On behalf of Insight E, today be with us Mr. Shuhaib, the Managing Director of the Insight E. Let me welcome Shuhaib also to the session. Shuhaib, please.
Thank you, Ranjit.
And dear participants, you are the real heroes of the sessions. As you know that once the teachers are enriched or once the teachers are equipped, the benefit directly goes to students. So I wish today's session will be a fruitful and effective one. Dear participants, you can feel to use the chat box to interact with the resource person, our Mridula ma'am. If anything is there, you can raise your hand to feel to unmute and interact with her. So I wish once again, this session should be effective and fruitful one. Wish you all the best. Mridula ma'am, happy evening, and I wish it would be a wonderful one. Thank you, Insight E, once again, and thank you, participants, for joining. As you know, that majority are texting me to previous sessions certificate. Let me inform you one thing. We are in process of the certificates. We already conducted the session. Due to some technical reasons and some legal formalities, nowadays Google is permitting sending only 100 mails per day. So we are starting sending certificates from today onwards. The first session certificate of first bunch of certificate, 100 certificate, we dispatch it today through your registered mail. Next day also another 100 bunch of certificate we will deliver to your mail IDs, registered mail IDs. Be patiently waiting for the certificate. Within 2 or 3 days, you will get your e-certificate. Thanks to all once again, and over to Mridula ma'am for the session. Ma'am, please. Now the floor is open for you. You can take away.
Thank you, Ranjit sir. Thank you so much. So once again, good evening. So we are all back from the school. We have 111 English teachers with us joining the session. People are joining even now. So it's a very happy thing that 112 English teachers are together, and we are going to discuss. I will not use the word that I'm going to tell you all about the question paper. I'm going to teach you something about the CBSE sample question paper. No, I cannot teach you because I am also a teacher teaching in class 10. I teach 2 divisions of class 10, even though At presently, I'm occupying the chair of the vice principal. It does not stop me or prevent me from doing actual classroom teaching. So I teach 2 divisions of class 10. So as an English teacher, I'm also interested. I'm also excited, curious to know what everybody else is thinking about the sample question paper released by the CBSE, and how are we going to equip our students to face such a question paper within maybe CBSE is on the process of releasing the date sheet of the examination. It is expected that maybe by mid-January or maximum by February 1st, CBSE is going to release the date sheet. The practical exams are already, the dates are already being circulated. So already we have actually put one foot into that examination mode, and everybody is actually rushing to finish the portion in class 10 and 12. Almost all the schools, I hope before December vacation we will wind up the portions. January means model exams, finalizing the internal segment, sending marks to the board. A very hectic schedule for the teachers handling 10 and 12. So I hope everybody is in the same ship, right? Are we all doing almost the very same thing? I hope everybody is planning to complete the portions by December 10, December, maybe first, second week of December, right? Am I
Yes.
correct? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Mostly that is the plan. And
Yes,
then January, we will have our model exams. At the same time, we will be finalizing the internal scores, completing our assessment of speaking and listening, and all the other periodic tests will be getting calculated. So we are ready for that. And the board has released the sample papers also. So what is your opinion regarding, can I have a word in the chat box? What is your opinion regarding the sample paper? I hope everybody must have gone through the sample paper by now. How do you see it? What kind of a paper is it? Is it very easy, very difficult, extremely difficult paper, a very easy paper, moderate paper, average paper? How do you rate it as a teacher teaching class 10? What is your rating of the question paper? Easy, difficult, in between, an average paper? Like, what's your rating of the paper? Can we have some answers in the chat box? Very difficult, Regida ma'am says. Okay, very difficult. Yeah, fine, good. Anybody else with a different, seems to be analytical and application based. Okay, fine. Difficult again, Linda says. Difficult. Difficult. Shruti says difficult. Maya ma'am says difficult. Joshna ma'am says difficult. Easy and difficult, somebody says. Vrishali ma'am says difficult. Comprehension passages are too tough, feels Sumina ma'am. Okay, fine. So now let us discuss the question paper. Comprehension passages are difficult. So let us see the question paper now. And let's find out why most of us are easy and difficult. It's a combination. Grammar part is complicated. Okay, fine, Rishali ma'am. Rishali ma'am is actually, she has joined from Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we are very happy to host her here in Kerala, even though it's a virtual hosting. So Vaishali ma'am, let us discuss it together. Right from Kerala to Maharashtra, people are finding it, the question paper seems difficult. So let us see. Davaida. So as an introduction to the session, even though all of us know this, everybody knows this. What are you seeing in front of you? What are you seeing in front of you? What is it?
Syllabus.
This is our syllabus, the portions are as per the curriculum. This is the portions taken from the curriculum. We have prescribed books, first flight. The prose lessons are here. We have 9 prose lessons from our main course book titled First Flight. Okay, Letter to God, Nelson Mandela, A Long Walk to Freedom. 2 stories about flying from the diary of Anne Frank. Glimpses of India, Midgebill the author. Madam rides the bus, the sermon at Banaras, the proposal, which is a play. So here we have a quote also taken from the lesson, Nelson Mandela's lesson, A Long Walk to Freedom. I learned that courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. That word is deliberately here. All of us are a bit scared seeing the question paper. That is natural as teachers who are equipping the students for a very big exam, especially after 2 pandemic years where the learning gaps. My screen is not visible. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Yes, ma'am.
It's visible. Yeah. So
No,
some
ma'am, the
people
screen is
say,
not visible.
It's not.
Yes, ma'am.
some people say it's no, some people say yes. So I think try to pin my screen. Most probably you will be having 2 screens by the same name,
Okay,
Ridula.
now it's visible.
Yeah, if it's coming, then if it is coming down a bit slow, it could be because of slow network. But because some people can see it, means the screen is being shared. Okay, screen is being shared because a few people are able to see visible. Okay. The host has now, the spotlighting has been done now. So I hope it is visible for everyone. Thank you for the spotlighting. So that quote from Nelson Mandela's lesson has been deliberately placed there. It's quite natural for us to feel a bit scared seeing such a question paper. There is nothing wrong in that. But what a question paper, very easy. I can easily take my students across it. If a teacher feels like that, that is maybe overconfidence. We know this is a challenging question paper. We know there are certain challenges, certain tasks we have to do before we send the children for the board exam. But we will do it because we are aware of the challenges lying ahead of us. So this is our poems from first flight, Dust of Snow. As I said, everybody knows this. So this is a very quick review. That's all. Dust of Snow, Fire and Ice, A Tiger in the Zoo, How to Tell Wild Animals, the bold poem, A Manta, the trees, fog, the tale of Custard, the dragon for Anne Gregory. Here we have the Dust of Snow. Without me telling you, you know, what does Dust of Snow tells us? What does Dust of, in a word, in a sentence, can you just summarize Dust of Snow for me? In a sentence, can you summarize? In a sentence, only one sentence, summarize the message in the poem, The Dust of Snow by Robert Frost, who is the master of brevity, who speaks volumes with a few words. That is when we call somebody the master of brevity. So English teachers are here. Can I ask you, can you summarize sad to jovial? Yes, Taslim ma'am says the poem is all about how the poet became or changed himself to a jovial mood after a very small incident. Can somebody else summarize? Healing power of nature, very good, healing power of nature. The poet was feeling very bad actually, was in a bad mood, and immediately actually, and see the elements used in the poem. It's crow and the hemlock tree. Hemlock tree is a poisonous tree. The crow is often considered as not a very good, a beautiful bird like a parrot or peacock or dove, or the small things in our life can make big changes. So Frost has actually used many negative, the so-called negative elements in the poem, like hemlock tree and crow, but altogether, how did they create a very positive impact on him, impact of a small incident? So let us say certain things which can make us all happy in this question paper. Okay, so don't ever think that the question paper is all about negativity. It's all negative, very difficult, very tough. How are we going to take the students across this question paper, especially after a pandemic? Please do not think like that. We can make the situation very positive with a small change in our perspective. How are we going to make the situation positive? Are we going to alter the question paper pattern of CBSE? Are we going to change the sample question paper? What are we going to do? Taking inspiration from Robert Frost and his poem, The Dust of Snow. What are we going to change now? We cannot change the sample question paper. We cannot change the question paper pattern. CBSE already released. Question paper also might be on the anvil. We can change our perspective, right? We are going to change our perspective in the way we look at the question paper, sample question paper released by the board, and that can change everything. We cannot change the world, but we can change our attitude, our approach. Here we have certain lessons from Footprints Without Feet, a triumph, that is our supplementary reader textbook, A Triumph of Surgery, The Thief's Story, The Midnight Visitor, A Question of Trust, Footprints Without Feet, The Making of a Scientist, The Necklace, Boli, The Book That Saved the Earth, again 9 lessons from the supplementary reader. And I hope everybody can identify the picture from which lesson. There is a picture only, no quote, nothing. But I hope as English teachers, everybody will be able to identify.
Midnight
Story. Exactly, the thief story. And the thief story speaks about it talks about what? A thief story, again, summarize it for me.
Trust.
A thief story conveys the message of trust. Yes, yes, definitely trust.
Trust.
Yeah. One more word I want from you. Great, education, values. Yeah. The thief story actually tells us if one person trusts us and loves us, how love, sympathy, yes. How love, sympathy, forgiveness, understanding can actually reverse the whole story. Yeah. A tragedy can end as a happy story. So actually that is what the thief story, that is one of my favorite lessons from the supplementary reader. That is why somebody is cooking. I can see a kitchen. I can see a kitchen. My God, poor teachers. In spite of all the house chores, she's very interested to attend the decoding or sample question paper. I appreciate that spirit. I can understand as a mother, as a woman, we are in the kitchen, still we are listening to the class. My God, I always appreciate the teachers for this spirit. They always exhibit in learning and doing things, multiple tasks or whatever we call it. So this lesson is one of my favorite from so with a little bit of garnishing of that love and trust, we can change our perspective. Trust your students, they can do this. Let us love them unconditionally and let us trust that they will do this. So now, this is the question paper pattern. We have 3 sections. Again, this is a very quick glance because I hope everybody must have gone through this. Everybody must have gone through the sample question paper. Section A, reading, which a few teachers commented, it is difficult. Some people even commented that it is very difficult. So let's see. In section A, reading, it has 2 passages. One discursive passage and one case-based passage. Each carries 10 mark and together 10 into 2, it makes 20. We have multiple choice questions and objective type questions in the reading comprehension session. And what is assessed? That is why we feel that the question paper is difficult, because the number of direct questions or recall questions are very less. The number of direct questions or questions from the level recall are very less. Instead, we have questions to assess inference, analysis, interpretation, evaluation, and vocabulary. All are concerning the Bloom's taxonomy. When we talk about the Bloom's taxonomy, higher order thinking skills are assessed in the reading comprehension passages. That is why our first impression about the question paper, it is difficult. Because when we read the passage and when we go through the questions, we may not be getting the answers directly from the passage. It is not directly given. Paragraph 1, If you read paragraph 1, where is the answer? You will not get it very easily. Instead, you have to infer the passage, you have to analyze, you have to interpret, evaluate, and you have to go for some contextual guessing. That is why the first impression is difficult, but definitely we can make it easy, as I said, with a change in our perspective. Section B is grammar and writing. Grammar carries 10 mark, writing carries 10 mark. In grammar part, accurate use of spelling, punctuation grammar will be assessed through gap filling, editing, transformation. These are the three kind of questions we can expect in the grammar section: gap filling, editing, transformation. Okay. It is, we have choice also, internal choice. 12 questions will be there, only 10 need to be answered. In the writing part, again, we have a formal letter and an analytical paragraph. Each carries 5 marks. It together, it makes 20. Grammar and writing will have 20 marks. Okay. Now we come to the section which carries actually half of the mark of the question paper, section C, literature. The question paper, the theory paper actually has 80 mark. 40 mark is from the last section, section C. So in section C, we have questions reference to the context question, extract based question we say. We have short and very long answer question, altogether 30 mark. So here also creativity. In the long answer questions, the board is trying to check the creativity, imagination and extrapolation beyond the text and across the text. Please look at that. This is taken from our sample question paper from the curriculum. So what is being assessed in section C, where we are having long answer type questions? Again, they are not direct questions where the students can rote memorize and reproduce the answer in the answer paper. Such questions are very less in number in the question paper. Instead, the board is checking the creativity level, imagination, extrapolation beyond the text and across the text. I will tell you where it is exactly, across the text. And involving, there are questions which involving interpretation, extrapolation beyond the text and inference or character sketch. So this is our question paper in a nutshell. We have quickly gone through the three sections, section A, section B, section C. And here you can see, I hope everybody is able to understand what is seen right in front of you. What is that? What is that?
Bloom's taxonomy.
Bloom's taxonomy, which is actually the foundation of the question paper. We have words taken from this huge list of action words. All are action words. And the question paper, you can see these words, these action words, where the board actually wants the students to do this action. Since it is an action word, something the students can literally perform, the board wants to see such actions being performed in the answer sheet, which is not a very easy task. So once again, I have given some keywords here, are taken or developed based on the taxonomy level of Bloom. And here also we are seeing the taxonomy of Bloom because it is shown to you because the question paper is working based on the Bloom's taxonomy. And why the question paper is working on the Bloom's taxonomy? Please refer to this circular. Circular number 57, released on 20 May 2022. Okay, please refer to this circular. In this circular, this is the first paragraph of this circular. Okay, this is the first paragraph of Circular 57 released by CBSE on 20th May 2022. Here I have highlighted a few words in the sky blue color. According to the NEP 2020, we are planning to move from rote memorization to competency-based learning. That is why we have questions based on certain language competencies in the question paper. And that is why we have very less question which analyzes or which checks the rote memorization of the students. Am I making sense to you, teachers? Am I making sense to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Please refer to this circular. Okay, in this circular, board has very clearly stated that we are not trying to check how well the student can memorize an answer may be given by the teacher or which they have memorized from the guide or some help book or somebody has helped them. They just memorize. The role of the student is memorizing what is given to them. It's a very ready-made kind of answer. We call it spoon feeding. The teacher or somebody prepares the answer, give it to the student, ask the student to study it, and the student simply goes to the examination hall, reproduces the answers which was given to the student earlier. Now the board does not want that to happen in the examination hall. So the move is from rote memorization to competency. That is why we feel that this is a very tough question paper. Please do not think that the question paper is not tough. The board has already told us this is what is going to happen. Key competencies. This will equip the learners. Why the board is doing this? Because the board wants our students to be equipped with 21st century skills. And our students must be ready to meet the challenges of the 21st century proactively, proactive learners. That is board's vision. They want to create proactive learners, proactive citizens in the future. Accordingly, the board has taken multiple steps towards the implementation of competency-based education. So board has taken many steps to introduce competency-based in education in school. This range from aligning assessment to CBE. So this question paper is something which is aligned to the competency-based education. That is why the competencies are being checked in the question paper. Is that part clear to you? What is being checked by the board? Give me an answer in the chat box. What is being checked in the question paper? What is board expecting in the answer paper? Can I have that answer in the chat box? Are they trying to check how good you have memorized all the answers? What is being checked? 21st century skills competencies. Language competencies are being checked. It is not how well a student is able to competencies. So if the competencies are being checked in the question paper, what are we supposed to do in the classroom? Question paper is competency based. So the classroom teaching learning also must be, complete the sentence. The question paper which the student is going to attempt at the end of the day is a competency based question paper. No doubt on that. So if that is the case, the classroom, daily classroom teaching also must be focused on CBE, competency-based teaching or competency-based education. Unless and until that has been done in the classroom, the question paper will remain difficult for us because there is a disparity. There is a huge gap existing between what was being taught in the class and what is being tested in the question paper. Am I making sense to you? The difficulty we feel, the reason behind the difficulty, what we have been doing in the classroom and what is being checked in the question paper, there is a wide gulf. There is a huge gap. There is a disparity. So what are we going to do now? Can you give me an answer to that question? The difficulty we feel is because of the gap between what is being taught or the pedagogical process that has been happening in the class does not match with the question paper. CBSE will not change the question paper. Yes. Tivisha ma'am says we have to change the method of teaching according to the train the students with these type of questions. Yes, exactly. I completely second Mariam ma'am. Okay. So, train the students with such questions. How are we going to train the students, or when are we going to train the students? When? What is the time? When are we going to train the students? What time are we planning to start the training? When are we going to train the students? What time? Are we going to start from January? Are we going to now, or we should have started it in June itself? We should have started it in June itself if we had not started now. If we have not started, we have to start now. Okay. Competency. Now, please look at the right side. Competency-based questions would be 40%. The question paper has questions based on competencies 40%. This can be in the form of multiple choice, case-based questions, source-based integrated questions, or any other type. Then remaining 20% objective type, remaining 40% short answer, long answer questions. So the question paper, your first impression that the question paper is a very difficult one is because of this reason, because our pedagogical process or what is happening in the classroom is not completely aligned with the competency-based assessment which is envisioned by the board. So we have to match it. We have to tally it according to the vision of the CBSE. Then all the problems will be solved. And then I will very quickly tell you what is competency-based education. Because we should know this, then only we can slowly change our teaching to competency. Competency-based education is an approach to teaching, learning, and assessment. That is all the key components of education. Teaching, learning, and assessment are competency-based. And it focuses on the demonstration of learning outcomes. That is why we have these action words. That is why we have action words, because it's all about the student is actually performing these competencies. Competencies can be only performed. So that is why we have action words, and the students, they are performing, they're demonstrating their language competencies in the examination paper. They are demonstrating the learning outcomes. So from where did they pick these learning outcomes? From where did they get these learning outcomes? Learning outcomes is a competence. A learning outcome is the key word. Learning outcome is a key word in competency-based education. So from where did this child are attaining the learning outcomes? Classroom. In the classroom, it is purely learning outcome-based teaching and learning. Because the key word when it comes to CBE, the students are attaining the learning outcomes through the pedagogical process designed by the teacher. Am I clear to you, my dear friends? In the classroom, when we are teaching them, we should design our pedagogical process in such a way that the students are able to attain the learning outcome. When we say learning outcomes are action words. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound learning outcomes. outcomes should be set by the teacher, and through the pedagogical process, the students must be able to attain this. And in the question paper, board is checking whether the students have attained these learning outcomes specified for each class. You can please go and refer to CBSE handbook learning outcomes at the secondary stage, class 9 and 10. There is a handbook released by the CBSE learning outcomes at the secondary stage, class 9 and 10. We have all the learning outcomes listed for class 10. Okay, so board actually wants us to design pedagogical activities in our classroom in such a way that the students have attained these learning outcomes and they are going to demonstrate it. It's almost like you learning Bharatanatyam or Mohiniyattam. You practice this, and on the Arangetam day, what will you do? You learn Bharatanatyam or Mohiniyattam or any instrument music or whatever, any art form. You learn it, you acquire the skills, knowledge, and finally on the day of performance, what will you do? What will you do? You will? Tell me, what will you do? You have learned an art form, you have learned Bharatanatyam or Mohiniyattam or any other classical dance for that matter, Kathak. You will perform it. You will apply your knowledge and skills and you will perform that. It is the same process happening here also. Throughout the entire academic year, we are actually giving practice to the students to perform certain skills and competencies related with language, and in the question paper, board is checking whether they have attained it. And if there is a disparity existing between the pedagogical process and the question paper will remain difficult not only for us but also for our students. Teaching which uses a CBE methodology works to empower students and provide them with a meaningful and positive learning experience. It should happen in the classrooms now. The student should acquire the skills and competencies in a positive learning, conducive learning environment, we call it. We call it conducive learning environment where the learning happens in a joyful, productive way. It places the learner at the center and actively engages them in the learning process. The learner has to be an active part in the learning. Otherwise, what will happen? If the learner is not an active partner in learning, it will so happen that the learner will not be able to perform the competencies. Okay, so we have to make sure that this happens in the classroom, real world applications of knowledge and skills, and the authenticity of the learning experience. This is very important. Only if we teach the students like this, the students will be able to answer a question paper like this. Okay. CBE is a model centered on the student, focused on the mastery of competencies based on learning outcomes. And assessment, what is being assessed in CBE? Assessing the application of knowledge. That is why we find the question paper very difficult, because we are totally baffled when it comes to the application of knowledge and skills in the real life context and using authentic problems which draw on real life data are key features of CBE assessment system. Okay, I hope, please take this. This is what is being assessed in the question paper. Are certain knowledge and skills in a real life context, certain authentic problems are given to them and they are drawing some conclusions, some inferences, some analysis is done on such problems. So this is why the question paper, or that is how the question paper is being prepared by the board. Now, I will stop sharing this screen. I will show you the question paper. Okay, I'll show you the question paper. I'm stopping this screen. I will show you the question paper where I have done some work. Okay. Can you see the question paper now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you. Yes,
ma'am.
thank you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So I have done some work on the question paper. I have highlighted certain words for us. I have done some work on this question paper. I will show you this. Let us start from the beginning itself very quickly. So this is our first reading comprehension passage. Let us look at the first question itself. It starts with a why. Which level of Bloom's taxonomy? Why? Why? I hope I'm audible. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So I have
ma'am.
highlighted the word why. And which level of Bloom's taxonomy is that? Level 3, apply. Level 3, the taxonomy level is 3, apply. Whenever there is a why question, it is application. Why does the writer say that the mountains inspire awe in humans? And as I told you, it is said that it is in paragraph 1. If you go back to paragraph 1 and read the entire paragraph maybe once or twice, maximum we can manage to read it twice within the time limit of the exam. The answer is not directly given anywhere in this paragraph number 1. But we have to infer. We have to infer the answer why there is awe. Mountains have always been held in great awe by mankind. And why is it so? That is the question. It checks the Bloom's taxonomy level 3 application. Here also select the options that corresponding to the following. What competency is being performed by the students here? I have written it here. What is the action that the students are going to perform here? Read what is written. Am I audible? Is it clear?
You are
I
audible,
have
ma'am.
written
Yes,
that
yes,
action word here.
yes.
I
Yes,
have
ma'am, you
written
are
that.
audible.
Thank you.
Associate.
Associate. That is the action. That is the learning outcome. That is the competency the students are going to perform. It is a level 2 question, Bloom's BL2. Okay. The third question, the write a project with reference to. It's relate. The students are relating. The mountain climbing is undoubtedly one of the most popular adventure sports. Paragraph 1. Select the option that displays what the writer project with reference to the following. So they are relating. That is the learning outcome being demonstrated here. Okay. Then complete the following. Again, it's a level 3 question. Then we slowly move on to the compare level, analyze. The writer compares training to penance in the line. Then comes the penance of the rigorous training. State one point of similarity between training and penance. It's a comparison exercise. Analyze. Level 4. This is again level 4, inference. Based on your reading of the text, list 2 reasons why the writer says that mountaineering is not a sport that can be embraced without preparation. So each question I have analyzed it based on the Bloom's taxonomy. The analysis is done based on the
Level
we are
4.
placing question on we are placing each question, we are analyzing each question based on the
Bloom's taxonomy.
taxonomy. And when
Bloom's
we check all the words or all the skills are higher order thinking skills. That is why the question paper is seemingly difficult in the first read. Because higher order thinking skills, as the name indicates, is not very easy to demonstrate. Again, I have highlighted infer, complete, select the correct option. Everywhere, select the chart that appropriately represents. So each word, you can see that as an action, substitute, list. Okay. Everywhere that is highlighted. And now quickly, let us move to this Select the option that correctly captures the application of the word cried with reference to the conduct extract question. So if you analyze, because of the time limit, I have not placed the entire question paper. I have placed the entire question paper in the Bloom's taxonomy, but I have not shown it here because I want you to work on this. You have to check each question in the question paper and try to place it on the Bloom's taxonomy level in this manner. You can do it digitally itself. This is done digitally only. Okay, you can insert the text. You can insert. Can you see this? This toolbar of PDF? Are you able to see the toolbar of PDF?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
using this digitally itself, you can work on the text, the question paper, and try to place. You can use this add text option. Use this add text option and take this question, one question. For example, maybe this question. Select the chart. You can add the text. Select the chart that appropriately represent the trend of foreign tourist travels in the Northeast from. So if you feel like this is a question from Bloom's taxonomy level, BL level 4. You can put it here, and which competency is being demonstrated here. If you feel like that it's relate, you can write it here. In this way, you have to analyze. You have to sit and analyze the question paper. I have given you only a sample because we are practicing competency-based education. If I do everything for you, will that become competency-based education? I sit and do the entire analysis of the question paper, and I tell you this question is based on this Bloom's taxonomy. That is not competency-based education. I have told you this is how we can do this. Now you have to do this. Then it is competency-based education. Is that okay, my dear teachers? Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Will you do it? Will you do it? Take Google Bloom's taxonomy from Google. Okay, sit with your Bloom's taxonomy. If you can sit in the department, that is great. Sit in the English department meeting. Take sample question paper class 10, put your Bloom's taxonomy here, and all the words that you can take from the slide. I will show you the slide. If you want, you can take a screenshot, or if you Google it, you will get it. The materials are available to us ready-made. But the next part, working on it, that we have to do. Okay. So this is how you are going to analyze your question paper. Please do it. Please do it by yourself. Then only you will have a clear idea. Now I'm stop sharing once again because I want you to look at the previous slide. Once again, we will go back to decoding of the question paper.
Ma'am, you're mute. Ma'am, you're on mute.
Ma'am will write back now.
I think I got myself muted once again. It has already happened. So I have requested Ranjit sir to help me. So now we were discussing how can we change the classroom also. The classroom teaching, in the question paper, you have a question like this. Please check the question. Question number 8. Question number 8. If you have the sample question paper with you, please refer to that. If not, later, please check to this question. Section C, literature, question number 8. There is a question, Mitchell and the tiger. Which tiger? Which tiger? The tiger in the zoo. Mitchell the otter. Both were looked after by humans. Assume they both meet each other in the zoo and have a conversation about their lifestyle and feelings. Who is talking? The tiger in the zoo and Mitchell the otter. They're having a conversation about their experience with the human beings. Then you have been asked to write it. It's a conversation. So this is how we are. So this question is there in the question paper. Is it a very easy question for your students? As a teacher, how do you rate this question? Will your students attempt this question very easily, very happily? Oh my God, I have been waiting for this question to come because I know how to answer this question. No. Why is it a no from our side? Because we have never given them practice in the classroom. We take each questions as an isolated unit and we teach. We have never thought of connecting the lessons. So I will give you a very quick example of how can we do it in the classroom. Very quick example. I'm going to compare the trees. What is your rating of the lesson, the trees? Is it a very simple poem? Is it a very simple poem? Very easy to understand? No. It is one of the toughest poems in the textbook, right? Because it's all about symbolism. It's a feminist poem actually. It's a feminist poem. The trees are actually symbols of women trapped inside the house and their attempt to move into the outer world, breaking the barriers. It's very difficult for a teacher to explain this lesson in the class, right? Haven't you felt that? Haven't you felt that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, because feminism, we have to first explain what is feminism. Then we have to see why the writer has taken trees, and there is nature also. So it's a bit difficult to explain the trees in the classroom, especially in class 10. Our students should have a very broader outlook also. They should have some reading stuff. Otherwise, it's difficult. So my attempt here, I tell you my attempt, because I am also a teacher teaching class 10. Okay, this is my attempt, or this is how I try to do this in my class, which I am sharing with you. I am trying to connect these two lessons, a tiger in the zoo and the trees. Do you think it is possible to connect these two lessons? What is your opinion?
Yes, ma'am. Both are caged.
Yes. How will you connect it? Tell me. Which element will you connect? Nature, or there are too many elements similar. Which elements will you connect? There are many possibilities.
Both lack freedom.
Habitat.
Freedom.
Habitat.
Freedom. Yes.
Caged experience.
Excellent. I have also thought on the same line, captivity and freedom. Very good. So we are on the same page. Can you see the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see the slide?
Yes,
a comparison
Yes,
between a tiger in the zoo. A tiger in the zoo and a woman. What is her zoo? What is the woman's zoo?
Her home, maybe.
Her home. So we are going for a brainstorming session. We tell which are the emotions reflected by both. Struggle to escape. Both the tiger and the woman. Both of them want to escape from the cage which imprisons them. Suppressed anger is there. Is the suppressed anger in the poem? In both the poems?
Yes.
Is the anger very visible? Is the anger visible, outburst? Very named?
No,
But there is
a
suppressed
silence.
anger, a lot of suppressed emotion, hidden emotions. So that is there in both the poems. That is there in both the poems. Tapped potential. The tiger, which is a very ferocious, wild animal, its potential is trapped and tapped inside the cage. In the same way, the woman is also trapped inside the house. Her potential is not being used. Her energy is not productive. Pain and agony experienced by both. Lonely and unhappy. Indifferent to many things happening around them. Don't you think there is that indifference? The tiger is indifferent to the... The tiger is quite indifferent to the...
Surroundings.
Visitors. The woman is also indifferent to what is happening around her, because she feels that I cannot help my situation. That is beyond my control. Then why should I bother? So both of them are going through the same kind of So we go for a brainstorming session in the class. If we do this, will you think the question will become easy for the students? If we had done this, conditional, if we had done this exercise in the class, when we are teaching these lessons, will that question become easy? Sure. So we have to do that. That is the only option I can suggest to make the question paper an easy one for the students. Practice, practice, practice what is going to be asked in the question paper in the classroom. Again, a few questions also. Find out poems with the same theme from English, Hindi, or mother tongue. Can we ask this question in the class? There are many questions written in Malayalam, in English, in Hindi, or mother tongue of the child. There could be a student from West Bengal in your class. There could be a student from Orissa in your class. There could be a student from Manipur in your class. So tell from your mother tongue. Find a poem which is thematically connected with this poem. Can we go for such a question? What does it promote? Enquiry, extrapolation beyond the text. Extrapolation beyond the text. They are moving out of the text. They are searching for a poem which they can thematically connect with these two poem, trees and the tiger. Can we do that in the class? Yes or no?
Yes.
I want to answer.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can do this in class.
Give me a poem now. Can you give me a poem now from Malayalam? Sahyende Magan. Have you heard of Sahyende Magan? Vailopilli Sahyende Magan. It's a poem about an elephant. Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes.
we have Mriga Shikshagan by Vijay Lakshmi. It's talking about a woman actually. It's a feminist poem. Vijay Lakshmi's poem Mriga Shikshagan. You can discuss such poems in the class. You can discuss such poems in the class. And man is the only animal who finds pleasure in keeping captivity of fellow humans or other animals. Comment on the statement. Can you ask such a question? Have you ever seen a cat or a dog finding pleasure in imprisoning any other animal? Maybe they hunt and eat because it is required for their survival. Man is the only animal that keeps other animals or even fellow human beings in captivity purely for the sake of some brutal pleasure. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me? Can we discuss this topic in the classroom? Can we discuss? You have to discuss this topic in the classroom and ask your students comment on this. Why are we? Because why this particular species like human being? Why are we behaving like that? Which no other species does. We are intelligent species. We call ourselves an intelligent species, and this is what we do. Translate the poem they have already found into English or vice versa. Translation. A translation will improve the language competency in a beautiful way. You try it and you can see the result. They have suggested the poem, ma'am, this poem. This Vailopilli's poem, Sahyende Magan, is a perfect example from our mother tongue. So you can tell you translate this poem into English. Or you can ask them to translate the poem, The Trees, into Malayalam. Have you tried that in the class? Have you tried translation in the class? Translate trees into Malayalam. They will come up with vrikshangal, marangal. Do that. And then they will find out the meaning of all the words in the poem. Won't they? Won't they? Because they have to translate into Malayalam. They can do the translation only if they have understood the core of the poem. They have to understand the poem. They have to infer. It's a free translation also. It's not a word by word translation. You have to go for a very free Swadandra Vivartanam, we call it. Right? So you have to tell the children you're going to translate the poem with your own title. So see, they will learn the vocabulary, extrapolation, inquiry, problem solving, everything is happening. These are the language competencies. They will be interested. They will open the dictionary and they will find the meanings also. The human concept of freedom is very different from any other animal and unique from any other species. is connected with certain things like geography, culture. Don't you feel so? Don't you feel so? We think that I am free only as far as I am in India. Our freedom is connected with geography, right? A cat and dog or a bird never feels that. And a bird migrating from Antarctica to India during the winter season does not think that, oh my God, I have crossed the boundaries of Antarctica. Now I am in India. I am not a citizen of India. I am only a visitor here. I am a tourist here. So my freedom is somehow restricted. Do they feel like that? Do they feel like that?
No.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
But we feel
No.
that, right? We feel that. As the moment we cross the geographical boundaries of our country, if we feel that I do not belong here. I am no more. I am not a citizen of this country. I am somebody who has come to work here. I am somebody who has come to find my livelihood. I do not really belong here. That is why we have this nostalgia, this homesickness, because we think that our home is somewhere else, right? Right? We feel like that.
Yes,
Have you ever
yes, yes,
discussed?
ma'am.
Have you ever discussed this with your students in the class? When we talk about human freedom, this point you can connect immediately. You can connect it with some other lesson. Which tell me which lesson? When we discuss
Mandela.
this concept.
Nelson Mandela.
Long walk to
Very
freedom.
Yes, exactly. Long walk to freedom. Some people come and see how complicated is our concept of freedom. And we think that we have to fight for freedom. Freedom fights. Freedom fights has happened only in the human history. You have never heard of a freedom fight happening in the animal kingdom. Have you heard of such things? Because we think freedom is restricted. It has to be obtained. That is why we have freedom fights, independent freedom struggle, right? So you can immediately connect it with the next lesson. That is how we thematically connect each lesson. Then once we start discussing Nelson Mandela, love and all, we can bring it to the thief story. Where love acts as a transformative element. The metamorphosis happens as a result of love. So this is how we connect. This is how we promote extrapolations and acquisition of language competencies in the class. Am I clear? Am I
Yes.
clear, my dear teachers? Do
Yes,
you think this is something that we can do in the classroom?
Yes,
Is this
ma'am.
something that we
Yes,
can do?
ma'am.
Yes,
Sure,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Please,
Yes, we
please
have to do
promote.
Yes,
this.
yes,
Yes,
yes.
ma'am.
Thank
Yes.
you. Please, and this is to do this, we have to be innovative, creative. We have to plan. We have to break our heads but we have to do this. The work is done by the student, but we tell them this is how you have to work. That is competency-based education. We set an environment in which the learner is actively engaged in the learning process. I hope you remember the previous slide. This is competency-based education. The learner is actively engaged in a positive learning experience. And through that learning experience, they gain some learning outcomes. And the board is checking whether the child has attained that learning outcomes. Is that clear now?
Yes,
Is it
ma'am.
clear?
Yes,
Are these
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
examples
Yes.
real world connected? Are they connected with the real world, or did I make some far-fetched questions?
No,
Are these
it's
questions
connected.
connected with real world?
Yes.
Yes.
So that part requires some
Yes, ma'am.
effort from our side. We have to sit, we have to break our head. I have to give a positive learning experience, which is very much connected with the real life to
Real
my
life
students, through
situation.
which they are going to reach at the specific learning outcome. And learning outcome, we mean this. The children will be able to infer. The children will be able to compare. The children will be able to generalize. The children will be able to formulate. The children will be able to grade. These are the learning outcomes. Every action word which the children will be able to demonstrate. So that demonstration is happening in the question paper. but the process is already finished in the classroom. But to ensure that process has been done in the classroom, we need some work from our part where we are designing such things in the classroom. Is that clear? So I think we are, and time management also you have to discuss. So time management, before when you discuss the question paper in the class, discuss how they are going to manage the time, how much time can be given for each section, discuss and then decide. Never dictate. I take only half an hour for reading comprehension, that next 40 minutes for grammar and writing, dedicate the entire time next for the section C because 40 marks are from. Never dictate. Please involve the students in the discussion. If possible, go for individual one-on-one discussion. Which area are you struggling the most? What time do you think you require to complete? There also we can go for a competency approach where the children are involved in the discussion. They discuss the pros and cons. They understand, okay, this is why I have to give more time for section C because more number of questions. The content is familiar to me. If I work on the content, I can do justice. Reading comprehension, I will finish the first reading, first scanning of the passages during the cool off time itself. This is how we teach them to plan. So I hope within the 1 hour, we have had a very quick, and please go through the curriculum. Please go through the curriculum. Please go through the circular. I told you about the circular. The circular, please read it. Go through the curriculum, go through the sample question paper. And as I told you, sit with the question paper and Bloom's taxonomy and analyze the whole question paper. Place it on levels of Bloom's taxonomy and see which all competencies are being tested in the question paper. Then start working on developing those competencies among your students. This is how we are going to tackle the question paper. Okay, this is our way of tackling the question paper. Okay, so thank you so much. 1 hour is over. I think I have done some justice.
Nice,
If the participants have any doubts, you can ask now.
Will there be a recording of this class available?
Yes, ma'am. The YouTube link is I already shared, and the YouTube link also I shared in the chat box. You can watch anytime. This recording is available through YouTube.
Thank you. It was very helpful.
Thank you, sir.
Vishali ma'am from Maharashtra, I would like to know her opinion, sir. Because
Thank you, ma'am.
Vishali ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here. Yes, ma'am.
How did you find it, ma'am? Because Maharashtra and Kerala.
Ma'am, your session was really very informative and your explain very deeply. I came to know that how to refer the question paper Bloom taxonomy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your valuable guidance.
That's great. Any other feedback? Any other suggestions?
So I have given them some homework, sir. Sit with the sample question paper, Bloom's taxonomy, place each question on the Bloom's taxonomy level, find out the keywords or the competencies tested in the question paper, then start working, develop such questions which can be discussed with the students. That is the only way to tackle this question paper. We have no easy shortcut methods. I will give you a formula. Go and apply this in the classroom. You will be able to perform miracles. No such magic wand we have. We have to do some homework. Okay.
So thank you, Mridula ma'am. It's a wonderful session. Thank you, participants. And on behalf of Council of CBSE Schools of Kerala and the Central Sagodaya School Conclave, once again, I sincerely thanking for the wonderful session. Thank you very much, Mridula ma'am. Thank you all the participants.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. So good
Thank
night
you
to
so
all.
much.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Interesting
everyone.
class. Help us to implement our class itself, ma'am. Very nice class for us.
Ma'am, may I get your contact number?
Please share, Mridula ma'am, you can say your
My
contact number.
contact number. Can I share my mail ID? Is that okay?
Okay, okay.
Most of the time, my phone will not be. I'll share my mail ID. You can drop.
Okay, it's enough. It's enough.
Okay.
Okay.
Where is this chat box? I'm searching for the chat box actually.
Yeah, higher secondary also we are organizing the webinar. The Mridula ma'am is taking higher secondary also. When is the date, ma'am, for the higher secondary webinar?
I think it's on November 11th, sir. November 11th.
Okay.
November. It's in November.
So what payment is that? Ma'am, if you need a e-certificate, we will provide the e-certificate. For the e-certification, we are charging 100 rupees. That is the for the payment. If you need the certificate only.
Money, sir? Sir, how can we send the money?
Yes, ma'am, in the Google form itself, the GPay QR code is added. Just send it through Google Pay.
Okay.
I shared my mail ID, mridula.mr10@gmail.com.
Okay.
If you have any queries, you can mail it to me. I'll try to answer.
Sir, excuse me, sir. There is one more query over there. In the Google form, we have to fill up transaction account name. What to fill in that place, sir?
The transaction, GPay providing a transaction ID, ma'am, please mention that transaction ID. That is the only way we can recognize the participants for generating e-certificates. If those who are using the phone pay, you can mention your phone number as the transaction ID. We will get back to you and solve the issue.
Because sir, last time Mridula ma'am session, I could not get my certificate that time. There was some error. So that's why I'm asking you through the QR code when I tried to pay.
That also is. Okay, ma'am. Do one thing. Do you know my number?
No, sir. Actually, are you in the group, sir?
Yes, I am in the group, and
Okay.
I will draw. I'll draw my number here. You can send what is your clarification. We will forward, and our technical team will sort. This is my number 9847073066. Myself, Ranjit Rajan, Technical Coordinator, CBC Kottayam, and convener Center Sahodaya Conclave. So you can drop a WhatsApp message to me. I will sort the issue with the technical team. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Anything
else? Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Sir, this is your Google number?
No. Don't send the amount to that Google. It's my WhatsApp number for any support and any technical assistance, any clarification you need, you can.
Okay, sir.
Excuse me, sir. Actually, I paid the amount and that transaction ID it was different, and that form it was different. The letters. I have written the number and I have written the letter.
Send the screenshot to my WhatsApp number, ma'am. I already dropped my WhatsApp number to the chat box, so I will sort the issue. You can feel to contact me. No, you will get a certificate within 2-3 days. After 3 days, once you are not received the certificate, you can send a message, WhatsApp message to me. I will sort the issue.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Usha ma'am, I already said that nowadays the Google is resisting 100 mails per day. So we are sending 100 certificates per day. The day one session, we already forwarded 100 certificates. Tomorrow we are forwarding another 100 certificates. It's a technical delay from the Google end. Nowadays, the mass mail sending, everything is restricted by the central government. So we are unable to send more certificates per day. Only 100 certificates per day we can forward. That is the only issue we are forwarding within this week.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. One more query I have. In the Google transaction ID, when we are writing the transaction ID, it's saying that it must contain CAGJ. So what's that? It should start with CICAG.
Ma'am, it's a transaction ID. That the form itself we mentioned and circle that what it is the transaction ID. Once you made the transaction, you will get the transaction ID details already from the
That ID it's
GPay.
not accepting. It's saying that this is not the correct one. It should contain CICAG.
Okay, ma'am. Send the once you process the payment, send the screenshot to me. I will solve the issue. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Sir, even I am facing the same problem. The transaction ID is not containing any alphabets. It's directly having numbers.
I think you are using the phone pay, not GPay.
No, GPay. I only have GPay. I'll send you the screenshot, sir, of 25th.
Okay, no issue, no issue. Send it to me,
Yeah,
ma'am. I will sort out.
I am using phone pay, but last time phone pay was done. Like last time, this error was not there.
Okay, anyway, what all are the issues? You send a message to my WhatsApp. I will sort with the technical team, ma'am.
But it's not submit. It's not accepting the form only. We are not able to submit it only.
Excuse me,
send
sir.
a message to, that's why you send a message to my WhatsApp. I will sort the issue. After sorting that issue, you can able to submit the form at any time. It's a form. The form is the certification form is active till another week. No issue. Anytime you can submit.
Okay, sir. Even my form is incomplete because of that transaction ID.
Yeah, that's why send a message to my WhatsApp, ma'am. I will sort out the issue with the technical team. Then I will suggest you the solution. Then you are able to submit the form. Is it okay?
Okay, sir. Because GPay, those who are not using that Google Pay, they're not able to submit it.
Okay. Anyway, I will sort this issue with the technical team. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you very much. We are running short of the time. Special thanks to Mridula, ma'am. We can wind up the session. Shall we?